We are back in the black hole of real estate, and we are going to talk about cheap condos today. I'm getting a lot of questions about why some condos are priced far differently than others. I think it's a great day to go over that. This is your host, Ron Wysakarski, for the black hole of real estate. And yeah, cheap condos. Who wouldn't want a cheap condo and save some money? There's a variety of condos out there, and there's some key things I would like to use to differentiate the types that are available and give you a little information about why some appear to cost just a whole lot less than the other ones and why is that. So let's start out with the super inexpensive ones, and let's say that they're somewhere between 50 grand and 100 or 150,000, and you think, wow, how do you get yourself a condo on the ocean for that kind of money? So let's start by introducing, if you haven't heard of it, the term condotel. Condo hotel. So, years ago, many of the hotels were converted into condos. Basically sold you a hotel room, which was yours. You'd have an association fee, but the unit itself was all yours. And with that, you could have a rental program with the front desk where you could rent it out yourself when you're not using it, or when you're there, just use it like it's your own condo. So there's a lot of utility in that. And it really is just that. I mean, if you think of, 300-400 square feet in a hotel room, a living area, a little kitchenette perhaps, a small living area, maybe a balcony and a bathroom with a shower. And that's really about what most of those had. Some were just studio versions, which looked absolutely like a common hotel. So condo hotel, let's just call it condotel. And they behave and function like a condo, with the key differentiation that they might have a rental desk, there might be commercial space potentially in the building, and are highly specialized for short-term rentals, some of them as short as 1 day for the rental. Now, along with that, you're going to run into a term that, if you're familiar with financing or attempted this, you'll hear the term non-warrantable condo. So non-warrantable condo. Now, it's a really big word. What does that mean? Well, in layman's terms, not likely to qualify for a loan. So even if you have absolutely perfect credit and the most amazing income, the bank probably is not going to lend money against this because it's non-warrantable. It means that more than 50% of the units in the building are used for short-term rentals, and the banks, well, they much prefer owner-occupied, second home. When they get to investment property, they get a little shaky. They waver on that. And then when it comes to these condotels, it's rare that they'll finance those particular properties. If someone's getting a loan, they might be taking a refinance or a home equity line against a different property, such as their primary residence, and then after that loan closes, then pay cash for the condotel. Now, they're inexpensive. They look like hotel rooms, but if you can get a property with a view of the ocean and a balcony with access to the pool and the beaches for under 100 grand, a lot of people are attracted to that. Certainly at the 150 level, it's just that it's going to be a cash purchase. So when you see properties online, you say, "Well, here's a property," and the portals will say, "Oh, contact the lender." What you have to understand is, just because it says contact a lender, it doesn't mean that property will qualify, regardless of the credit score and net worth and application of the person trying to borrow the money. It's the property, the collateral, that the banks are choosing not to write the loan for in most cases. So a condotel, it's small, relatively inexpensive, most likely going to be a cash purchase, and you can get duped a little bit when you're looking online because you see this inexpensive condo and you think, "Oh, we'll just go get a loan, we'll make a second home, it's going to be great." You can absolutely stay there when you want to, rent it out when you're not there. I will tell you, if you're looking for the rental income, most people want to go to these condotels by the beach when school's out. Spring break, Daytona 500 in the Daytona Beach area, Bike Week. They want to be there and use it for those. That's when the renters want to use it too. So the most effective use of those properties, if you're going to use them, is in the quieter months, September, October, when really nobody is in the area as far as the events. that would be a good time to use it so you can maximize your return if that's what your goal is. So that's condotel. Now, you can look at a one-bedroom condo that is likely to be able to be financed, or a two-bedroom condo, or up to three. There's a few penthouse, a few four bedrooms, and that really kind of rounds out the condos. What's more traditional, what you might expect, and those are typically able to be financed. Now, within that, they may have some different restrictions. They may have a minimum rental of a week or a month. Maybe it's a minimum of 6 months. Some minimum 1 year rental. So you need to be able to fit into that guideline. So now you've got, if you're looking at one of those condos and you want to be able to use a mortgage, you're now faced with, can I rent it as often as I want, for as short a term as I want, and still use it and rent it in between things? So the short answer is it's possible in most cases to do some rentals in the condos, but maybe not the short-term type. So short-term is anything below 6 months is what we're going to call it. 6 months and 1 day would be a long term. And with that, it means you're going to avoid things like the hotel tax. So if you're less than 6 months, the 12.5% hotel tax is going to have to be put on there. So whether you run it through like a Airbnb, a Verbo, or something like that, or just do the books on your own, if it's short term, then you've got to charge the hotel tax and the area tax, which is similar to when you go to a hotel. So those extra fees on there, whether you rent from a hotel or rent from an individual at one of their properties, that's the tax that's being tacked on to the purchase after you've agreed on the rate. You with me so far? Now, let's get back to pricing. The least expensive, typically, for the type of views available in size, are condotels. And when you bump it up to a 1 or 2 bedroom, you see the prices start to increase. And a 3, it's going to be a pretty significant jump to get to the 3rd bedroom. So why in a building, if we have a condo, and let's say there's 3 different condos. Let's go for 3. 3 2-bedroom condos, all in the same buildings, and the price disparity is wide. Well, it might be because some are renovated, have newer bathrooms or new kitchen areas, the balconies are redone. Something is remarkably different. But what if they were all the same? They were all the same layout, all the same countertops, same types of flooring, same types of kitchens and bathrooms. It's just neutral. It's all the same, and yet there's a big difference in price. It could be one seller is more motivated. It could be one is not motivated at all and just priced it way out of bounds. But let's say that that's not the case. Well, the only thing left is the view. So if you are in the lowest price unit, and maybe you're in an oceanfront building, but you're looking away. So in this case, if you're on the coast of Florida on the Atlantic Ocean, looking east over the ocean, that's going to be more preferred than looking west facing a road or a parking lot. Would that make sense? Of course it would. So now we've got the western facing, looking at the road view. That's not as desirable as perhaps one on the side of the building, which can see the road, but can also see glimpses of the ocean and the sand. And then there's the direct ocean view, which you just see nothing but water. So now we can categorize these. The lowest type of view in as far as value in the eyes of the buyers is going to be the one looking at the street or a parking lot. A side view could be the middle price. A view, maybe from your balcony, if you crane your neck around, you can see it. And then, of course, direct oceanfront, you see nothing but water. That's going to be the preferred view. And that would give you an idea of why condos are priced differently. Even if the units are the same and in the same building, they can still have a wide disparity in prices. And if you want to add another layer, and again, on the ocean in Florida, the southeast corner of the building, top floor, southeast corner, it gets the most sunlight. So for many people, that is like the premier unit in the building is top floor, southeast corner. And if it's a penthouse, even more of a premium. If you have an aversion to too much sunlight, or maybe a condition medically, where you don't want to be in the sun, then you could get a relative bargain on the north and east side facing the ocean. but there's more shade on that side of the building if that's something that would interest you. So this is giving you a lot of information about why condos are priced differently and what to look for. You can always look towards amenities. You can look towards the type of view, the state of readiness. Have the balconies been redone? Has the roof been redone? How about the HVAC and all the common areas? Have they had all the proper inspections along the way? Is there any special assessments coming up that might impact the value and your enjoyment? Because even if the balcony is paid for, but it's a year-and-a-half long project, you may not be able to go out in your balcony for quite some time. These are all things that you want to investigate. We started out with cheap condos, and now we've moved right down the road of how do we evaluate these things? And that's the point of this conversation, is to walk you through how people begin to stick their toe in the water with the condos. And it usually starts with a cheap condo. Sometimes we find out that it's a condotel, and it really doesn't do what the owner, the potential owner, wants it to do. Number one complaint in most condotels, there's no laundry. So staying there long term and not having access to laundry within the unit could be troublesome. And you'll see that in some 1 and 2 bedrooms as well. So again, pay attention to that. We can go on even deeper, but I think for today, this is a great place to hold it up. Cheap condos, condotels, absolutely a way to go. It's going to be a cash sale, and if you want to finance, you're probably moving off of that studio or that condotel into a 1 or 2 bedroom where financing is allowed. If you got questions, drop us a line. Definitely subscribe. We want to be able to help you through your next condo purchase. This is your host, Ron Wojciechowski, for the Black Hole of Real Estate.